My wife and I learned about the Breaking Free course through our church. I was hesitant at first because I was not used to any of the elements that these kind of things entail. But while I was there, I said, well, she wants us to go. This must be very important to her. Then it became very important to me. And when it became important to us, we decided that we should make it about him as well. So we felt that it was very important for our son, Simon, to have all this information that we didn't have back when we were younger, so that he wouldn't make the same mistakes that we did.
When I was going to the food bank one day at Cooperative Christian Ministries, there was a flyer there and I saw it and I was very interested. And so I emailed Sam and got started. I'm a single mom of 3 children. And so Lee is my oldest son and we make financial decisions together. So it only made sense for him to be a part of it. When we would go home, he would ask me questions of what we just learned. Whenever I was about to spend money, Lee would remind me and say, hey, did you know that it would be 1 hour of your work time on what you're about to spend? Not only was I learning from the class, but since I had my son with me, he reminded me of what we learned together.
People in my age do talk about money, not in the more adult professional way you would, but sometimes we're concerned about our futures. Sometimes we're just concerned about if we're able to afford what we would want to do.
Usually they used to brag about money, but they never really talked about money or anything that had to go with saving or anything that the course taught me. And when I entered the course, I never really knew how to save money or never really knew how to manage my money, and I was honestly really scared before the course how to manage my money and what I'd do with my money. But when I entered the course, I realized how important it was to save money. I feel more prepared now because when I start getting a job or when I start having to save money, I will be ready for that next step.
When I got my paycheck, I was tempted to spend it on things like food or games, but then I was remembering that in the class I was told that saving would be a good idea and paying off any debts before it got any worse would be a good idea.
I think it's amazing that he's so helpful and he contributes his check towards the household. It's very responsible and I'm very proud of him. And I think the class helped contribute towards that type of mindset.
After taking the course, one of the financial goals that we started setting was one that seemed very further down the road, more like a very long-term goal, which was to get a house. And I think that probably within the next 3 years, we should be ready to take that huge next step.
I wanted to thank CCM and the new friends at Nova for being part of this program. Also the volunteers, there was volunteers there to help watch my other children while I was learning with my son Lee.
This was something that it was, one of those things that you walk into and you don't know how it's going to impact your life. This was like that. It definitely changed the way that we would see money, debt, income, all the things that we needed for us to be able to set up our kids for their future and to be able to pass that along to other people.
I really want to thank Nova for this opportunity, and I want to thank you guys for everything you've done. When I was there, I thought I wouldn't fit in, but when Nova really showed me what it meant and what the importance was as a teenager to be there, I really liked how they were welcoming and how they were spending their time to explain to me things that I wouldn't understand because I'm not an adult.